team are through to a Champions League semi-final for the first time since the 1996-97 team. What celebrations from their fans and their young players on the field in Turin. Niall, I will give you the first word on this because you were the only one who said they were going to go through tonight. How good were they?
They were absolutely brilliant. They could have won it by 3 or 4 had their finishing been better in the second half. They're fearless, you said that. They play with smiles on their faces. They do the right thing. A lot of talk about their players leaving, but look at the team spirit that they have before that happens. I'd also say their manager could be poached as well, because it's just a wonderful story. And, you know, it's the resurgence, a renaissance of Dutch football. It's been missing for some time. I've done every single Dutch international over the last 8-9 months, and the same thing is happening with the national team, and there's some players out there tonight who've been part of it. It's just brilliant to watch, and you can't tire of watching brilliant performances like that from young, energetic people who, as you say, haven't a care in the world about where they go, who they play against. It's just brilliant, and it's an amazing story to be playing the qualifiers in the summer when everyone else was meant to be on holidays, coming back early, and to see the journey go this far. It's just wonderful, and I think we should really prevent ourselves from thinking they can't go all the way, because there's nothing here to stop that they'd say, OK, we're not good enough to beat the next team.
We thought it might be a step too far tonight, Graham, and it just absolutely wasn't.
Absolutely fabulous. I tell you what's screaming out from me. You know, for generations, you know, people have spoken about the coaching in Holland as being the very best. And I think when you see that, you know, no one's mentioned Donny van de Beek, for argument's sake. Well, Ligt, the other young midfield player, doing they're babies in football terms, and they do the right things continually well. You know, it's not an accident they can go to Real Madrid and play like they're senior pros and been there before. It's not an accident they've gone to a very difficult place tonight and did everything right near enough, except the only criticism I would offer up is they try to score the perfect goal all the time instead of pulling the trigger, but like Man City do when they dominate games. It was just an outstanding performance, and they're playing without fear, and that's a great thing. You know, if you're starting a game thinking, well, if we lose, so what? We'll just go out and play our normal game. And the belief they have in each other is great to see. And whoever, if it's City or Tottenham, they will not look forward to playing them, because they play with an energy. We said at half-time it was a really high-intensity game in the first 45. Would it drop off? Well, there was only one team managed to sustain that in the second half, and that was Ajax.
Brian, at half-time you looked at how Juventus played with greater intensity in the first half than they had in the first leg in Amsterdam, and made it awkward for Ajax, and they didn't get to pass it around with such ease in that first half. So what happened in the second half? Why did that change?
Well, I think Juventus ran out of steam because it isn't their usual game, and I said I wasn't surprised they took off the Bala, because he was running around part of the press, but he didn't look like he was in the game as a player. Ronaldo the same, and in the second half they faded. Matuidi faded. We saw very little of Pjanic. Chan got narky as things started to fall apart around them, and they weren't able to stay with the energy levels that Ajax had. They just swarmed forward, they moved the ball quickly on the counter-attack, passes were precise. Again, those clusters of players getting together in different areas of the pitch to create opportunities, and the surprise was they didn't score more goals. I think they had 11 or 12 opportunities, good opportunities in the second half. But just taking up what Niall said, they actually started their first round in Europe on the 27th of July, playing Sturm Graz. And then they played Standard Liège, and then they played Dynamo Kiev, and this is all July, August, when many teams are in pre-season, and the only game they've lost was Real Madrid at home. You take it in the group, they'd Bayern Munich, they drew 3-3 and 1-1. So they've now got through.
And Benfica in that group as well.
That's right, but if you take that, they went through by not losing to Bayern Munich, beating Real Madrid away from home 4-1, and now beating Juventus away from home convincingly tonight. It's fabulous stuff and fabulous football. A joy to watch it. It's a bit of a throwback to the old 70s stuff, isn't it?
This is the point I wanted to make.
Rinus Mitchell's the start of total football.
The lads were talking about how all these players are going to get poached and taken away. But if what you're saying is true about they're clearly being coached in the right things, is it a case that they've rediscovered their soul and that they're on the right track again, and that they can?
It's a cycle thing, Tommy. You know, the whole, not just Ajax, but the nation for a good 5-6 years has been in the doldrums, and it's it's a cycle, isn't it? Good group, average group, very good group, great group. And I think right now they're producing a great group. And when you see the way they play football, you're looking at that team, and if you didn't know, you're looking at a team that's playing with, they're an experienced team. They've been here before, more than once. But both in the Real Madrid game and the game tonight, they just play, they've got to express themselves in a way where they're not bothered if it comes off or it doesn't come off. They're obviously very much in it together, but that comes with youth. If we can cast our minds back, that's how it was. You just went out and played, and if you made a mistake, so what? It's only when you get a bit older, you're not expected to make mistakes, that maybe plays a bit on your mind. But that was just a great watch tonight. It was a young team playing with total freedom, whether they won, lost or drew tonight. It wasn't, going to be the end of the world for them. It's the end of the world for Juventus and some of those players, and the last opportunity for some of them.
It's a huge blow for Juventus. I wonder whether they'll be looking at some of these Ajax players who were so brilliant this evening. Let's have a look at how they really got stuck into Juve from the start of that second half, Brian, right away into their flow. And although the goal came from a set piece, it was the passing and the movement of the Ajax players that was so.
Yeah, well,
amazing.
we showed some of it before. We showed some of it before the game, Tommy. The second half was much more like them. The build-up play in around the penalty area, intricate passing. That forward, the unit, Neres up there, Van de Beek a part of it, Tadic is part of it. Here's Neres on the run again, surging. The only mistake it was making is when they took the shot. It was a bit Arsenal-ish like, in trying to get the perfect goal, not just have a goal, I'll take a shot. But look at that for precision pass and comfort on the ball. The Juventus look lumbering against them, movement to pass, look confidence in that. Look,
it doesn't get any better than
beautiful,
that.
beautiful football, except not to get the finish and test the goalkeeper. Here they go again, movement. Van de Beek playing in that kind of position just off the front man behind Tadic, but so often back helping out in midfield to make the third midfielder. And as the game went on, this lad, De Jong became more and more influential in the game. What an effort that was. Initially in the first half, Chan stopped him from playing, but here he goes again. Look, playing the pass, playing the simple pass. Great ball by Neres, switches the play. I thought he'd have a go here, Tadic, but he goes for a little pass to the far post, and Pjanic just rescued him. But
these are no mugs they're playing now. This is Juventus, who are well ahead in Serie A, going for yet another title, trying to reach their third Champions League final in 5 seasons.
A serious group playing at home, and I think going back to Van de Beek, who typified the performance tonight, he was outstanding. He was the best player on the pitch. I think he doubled his transfer fee tonight. He was that good.
He was outstanding in the Bernabeu as well.
He was, yeah, but
I think the spotlight's been elsewhere.
I think the spotlight's been elsewhere, but tonight you can shine it clearly on him, because I thought his performance was just 10 out of 10. It was as good as it gets. He defended when he had to defend. He was part of a rear guard once or twice. Maybe Juventus going ahead eased them down a little bit, because they were right at it till they got the first goal. And Ligt came up for the corner kick, and did really, really well to get his side back in it. And it was just
have a look at it, Graham. It's De Ligt's goal to put Ajax ahead, and De Ligt had been at fault for Ronaldo's goal in the first half, so it was a bit of
it's just a very brave
redemption
header.
There.
Just a very brave header. He's putting his head where he might get hurt. He's up with 2 defenders, and he just makes it his ball and gets it down. Difficult bounces just before it gets to the goalkeeper. No chance, Chesney. But he picked up the flight of the ball. He gets up there under pressure, being pushed, being nudged, but focuses on the ball, gets it down.
He wanted it more, didn't he? He
bad for a 19-year-old, eh?
Yeah, Tony Adams reminds me of Tony Adams at that age when he was just
a better
absolutely a much better footballer.
Can I just
that desire?
What's so encouraging about, or what you'd be delighted about if you're associated with that team, that you pointed out at half-time that their success in the passing rate was nowhere near what it was in the first game. So that Juve has said to themselves, we didn't put them under enough pressure in the first game, second game we're going to do that. So they did that in the first half. And the young boys just kept doing what they've been doing all season, and maybe before that, kept trying to play their own game. And eventually the energy levels off Juve dropped off, but they, young, enthusiastic, whatever, maybe not such a demanding league, they just kept at it. Looking at them in the 89th minute to the 20th minute, there was no difference in the pace they were moving the ball at.
Even after that goal, Graham, we thought we'd be putting together, look, it's going to be batten down the hatches, Juve will come back at them. It didn't really materialise, and there were more chances for Ajax that resulted.
Yeah, you're looking at the game, you're thinking of Juventus had a player sent off. This is a sitter for the level of quality this young team has. There's a lovely ball played through here. Nice volleyed pass. This one coming up here. Look at the weight on it. And he takes it with the wrong foot, really. He obviously just got it all wrong going there. But some of their slick passing, first time passing. But the only criticism was said already, try to score the perfect goal. Look, why is he not... That was Donny van de Beek there. He eventually scores it, but he's offside before that. But the only criticism, they try to score the perfect goal. Instead of, testing the goalkeeper with shots when they could, they're trying to pass it into the net. As I've said, a bit like what City are when they're on fire.
Playing like they were enjoying themselves.
Oh, yeah, that's so...
They got the goal, from Van de Beek, and that just changed. It was as if that took the life out of Juventus, and it was a pleasure to watch it all over again all week.
Final point, Juve brought Ronaldo in. This was the great quest of the Champions League. Whatever about Serie A, they'd done that. It was all about the Champions League this season. They must be in a real low after this tonight, Brian.
Well, they've lost in 2 Champions League finals in the last 5 years, beaten by Barca and Real Madrid. And now they go out again this year, having bought Ronaldo. You're buying a player at 33, there's a fair risk that he may not be fit for all the big games. Now, as it's worked out, he has been, and he's been very important for them. But it was kind of like all your eggs in that basket. You're taking he's 34 this year, and if he doesn't do it, what are the rest doing? I thought they were better this year around the middle with Chan.
And of course, he's smiling there because before the game, Graham said he didn't think Ronaldo would make the difference for Juventus.
I didn't think he could inspire those around him.
Yeah.
He is still a unique player, and I've said it already, in the top 3 or 4 players that have ever kicked a ball, but I just think it's a step too far at that age.
But he wasn't going to be the difference, and he wasn't for Juventus. They are out Ajax through.